Namashvishtam manamapi Shutiputram atra surupam Rupam tasagajamuripurim Maturim Goshtuatim Radha Kundamagirivaram Auradikamadvasam Bhakto yasya ratita kripaya Sri Guru Tam Gurave Gaurachandaya Radhikaye Tadaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Hema Bhakti Vyatschave Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Bhaktavina Aparana Lakse Chirtasta Kamari Kauram Kamati Vipamaikam Shanam Prapana Vrinde Namaste Jananana Vinda Vrinde Namaste Jananana Vinda Govinda Namo Dharamara Vedi Govinda Namo Dharamara Vedi Govinda Namo Dharamara Vedi Govinda Namo Dharamara Vedi Everyone Hey Krishna Hey Radha Hey Saketi Govinda Namo Dharamara Vedi Sham Sundar Sikanda Shikam Smarha Samurali Manora Radhika Raskha Mama Kripanite Sapir Charna King Kurim Kuru Tavai Vasmi Najivami Tvayavana Jivikaya Devi Tam Nama Chanatikam First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev. Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Ashtotara Sutta Sisimad Rupanuga Acharya Varya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada and all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas,
Will we work to the piano? That's good. It's good.
So, the room is filled with so many senior Vaishnavas. So I am embarrassed to speak in your illustrious presence. But if you'll permit me to speak a few words, pardon my arrogance. Our Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made a very unique contribution to Vaishnavism. What is that? There are Vaishnav Sampradayas, very authentic Vaishnav Sampradayas. Ramanuja Sampradaya, Madhva Sampradaya, Nimbadita Sampradaya, Vishnu Swami Sampradaya. They all honor the Vedas, Vedanta, the Puranas. For them, Vishnu Purana, Bhagavad Purana, Padma Purana, they're all great. But they don't give any special position to Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramana Mamalam, Prema Pumato Maham, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matarmedam, Tatradara Napara. We take it for granted because we have learned from the very beginning of our spiritual life, Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost literature. But before the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this was not a common opinion. It is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who pointed it out. Krishna Bhakti Rasa Swarup Sri Bhagavat Sarva Veda Shastra Hete Parama Mahatva. The Srimad Bhagavatam is Bhakti Rasa Swarup, the embodiment of all the transcendental mellows of love, and therefore it's standing more than head and shoulders above all other scriptures. It is supreme. Sajjo Ridya Avaruddhitayatra Kitibi Susru Siddhistat Sanat. If someone they don't even hear Srimad Bhagavatam, they just desire to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, then Sri Krishna immediately comes running and takes his seat in their heart, because he does not want to miss the Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavatam tells us this in the second verse. And in that second verse also, Atra, 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 Dharma Projita Kaitavatra, Paramoni Matsranam Satam, Vedam Vastavam Atra Vastu, Shivadam Tapatron Mulanam, Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikate Kimba Parayagishara, Sadyoridya Virudhate Yatra. 3 times, Atra, Atra, Atra. Atra means here, here, in this. So it's mentioned 3 times because only among all the scriptures, only Srimad Bhagavatam, only here, only in this Srimad Bhagavatam is that power to fascinate Krishna, to make him come running and to capture him in your heart that he can never escape. Who can understand it? Only those who have received the mercy of Shri Shri Gaur Nitai. In the beginning of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, there Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad, he said, Dui bhayo hridiye rokshali andaka, Dui bhagavata sange karna sakshatka. He said, what is the mercy of Sri Shri Gaur Nitai? Dui bhayo hridiye rokshali andaka. The hearts of the conditioned souls, like myself, are very dark. We cannot see. We cannot discriminate. We have no vivek. But if someone will serve Shri Shri Gaur Nitai in their Sankirtan movement, chanting and dancing everywhere, then the mercy of Gaur Nitai will come. And just as in the dark you cannot recognize pots and pans and tables and chairs, but when the light comes on you can see this is a pot, this is a chair. So in the same way, when the mercy of Shri Shri Gaur Nitai illuminates our heart, at that time we can see, oh, there are so many Shastras, but this Srimad Bhagavatam is extraordinary. So, Dui Bhagavata Sange Karna Sakshatkar, the mercy of Gaur Nitai brings us in direct association and gives us the recognition of the supreme position, Dui Bhagavata Sange Karna Sakshatkar, of 2 types of Bhagavat. We recognize the book Bhagavat, Eka Bhagavata Bara Bhakti Rasa Shastra, Ara Bhagavata Bara Bhakti Rasa Patra. One Bhagavat is the book, which is the Rasa Shastra, full of all the mellows of the Sakiras, friendship of the coward boys of Vrindavan, Vatsalya Ras, the unlimited love of Madhya Yashoda for Krishna and Nanda Maharaj, and the unspeakable, inconceivable, unlimited love of Braja Gopis in Madhurya Rasa. That is all there. And Radhika's Mahabhav and Madanakya Mahabhav is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. See, oh, nothing is like Srimad Bhagavatam. And the mercy of Gaur Nitai causes us to meet Ara Bhagavata Bhakta Bhakti Rasa Patra, the Bhakta, the devotee. The devotee is Rasa Patra, a receptacle, a golden jeweled goblet full of the intoxicating wine of Bhakti Rasa. That devotee. Then, Dui Bhagavata Dwara Diya Bhakti Ras Taha Hridaya Tara Prema Hoyavash. By the combination, by the action of these 2 things, Bhagavad Shastra and Bhakta Bhagavat, the scripture and the devotee together, then the mellows of Bhakti Ras become infused into our hearts, and then Krishna comes under our control. This is the path of Bhakti. So first, every day and everywhere, with everyone, Harinam Sankirtan. Then the mercy of Shri Shri Gaur Nitai will come, and we'll have Rasik Bhakta Sangha, and taste in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, then Prem, Braja Prem will come. So, this Srimad Bhagavatam has inconceivable power in each syllable to awaken love for Krishna. Yasyam vai shurmanayam Krishnai Paramapurushe Bhaktirudpadyate Pungsa Shoka Moha Bhayapaha. Simply by giving a submissive oral reception to Srimad Bhagavatam, then naturally, effortlessly, something will sprout up in the heart. Miraculously, devotion to Krishna appears and it grows and extinguishes shoka, lamentation. That means mental disturbance about the past. Moha, bewilderment. That is our bodily identification in the present. And bhaya, fear. That is our anxiety about what will happen in the future. In other words, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, you will transcend time. You will become untouched by past, present and future. So today, I want to remember, fondly remember, a beautiful charitra, a life history, upakyan. Upakyan means a history which has teachings, valuable teachings for us. From the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The life of Bharat Maharaj. Perhaps you have heard it before. So, forget that. Don't think I've heard it before. Think, Srimad Bhagavatam is ever fresh. I have never heard it before. New. It's a very touching story, history. Because in this history is the illustration of Sri Krishna's very intense love and grace, His mercy, so powerful, aggressive grace. How He wants to bring His devotee very close to Him, quickly. Krishna's separation, because Krishna feels separation from His devotee. He wants to bring him as quickly and efficiently as possible to His lotus feet. So that we find in the life of Bharat Maharaj. So don't think he is a fictional person. Don't think this is mythology or a comic book. Bharat Maharaj is a real person with a family. He comes from a nice family. His brothers are the Nava-yogendras. Havi, Kavi, Antariksha, Prabhuda, Pipalayan, Drumila, Chalmasa, Karavajan. 9 masters of mystic yoga. And his father is one Shaktyavesh, empowered incarnation even of the Supreme Lord, Maharaj Rishabdev. So, he has very good sanskars from his childhood. When he was young, his father was king, but his father wanted to set the example. Don't be attached to opulence of this world, because soon it will be gone. So if you don't leave it before it leaves you, then you will have to come again and again in the cycle of birth and death. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam thaya parta chaitasam vyavasaya mikabudhiye samado na vidhiyate. Sri Krishna said, in the minds of those who are too attracted to enjoyment, luxury and opulence, and who have become bewildered, their chitta is bewildered by these things. In those persons, the determination, the one-pointed determination to attain the state of samadhi, in which we can realize the beautiful pastimes of Sri Krishna, that determination never occurs. They're weak. sense gratification, luxury, opulence. If one is attached and tries to enjoy this, then you become weak. You have no determination. You become spiritually helpless. Cannot progress at one step. So Rishabdev, to set an example for the whole world, he renounced everything and went to the forest. But before leaving, he gave good instruction to his sons, of which Bharat Maharaj is one of his 100 sons. He said, Nayam deho deha bhajam niloke kastan kamam ahati vidpujam ye tapo divyam putra kayena sattvam sudyat yasmad brahma sokyam tvanantam. There are many forms of life in this universe, but those who have accepted this human form of life should not live for sense gratification like dogs and hogs who eat stool. This human form of life has a purpose. What is that? Tapo divyam putra kayena sattvam. My dear sons, the purpose of this human life is to be self-restrained, to perform some austerity, some sacrifice for the sake of dedicating oneself fully in the service of God. Because in this life, the heart, the consciousness can become purified by a person who always remains aloof from the objects of the senses and focuses their mind on the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Their heart can become purified and they will attain transcendental realization. They are leaving behind a very meager, a very insignificant and flickering happiness. And along with that, because in this world happiness is always mixed with a huge amount of suffering. Like 1% happiness, 99% suffering. So they're exchanging that for what? Brahma saukyam tvanantam. Spiritual joy, which is ananta, endless spiritual joy. So that's a good policy. Right? Is that a good strategy? So that's the true human life. Anything other than that is a state of confusion, a state of intoxication. One is not here, one is not sober, but one has become foolish and intoxicated. If one loses this, the thread of one's own good fortune. So Maharaja Rishabdev told his sons, Mahat Saivam Dwaram Aho Vimuktes Tamodaram Yoshita Sangi Sangam Mahantas Te Samachita Sangha Vimanyava Suridaha Sadavoye. The service of pure devotees opens the door to the spiritual world. Don't think that just by your sadhana that you will become perfect. Chaudhya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Kechipeva. Srila Narottam Das Thakur said, no one who gave up the service of Vaishnavas was ever liberated from this world. It never happened. So Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahor Vimuktes, along with chanting the holy names, serving our deities, and so on, then there must be Vaishnava Seva, serving pure devotees. In fact, better if you have so many different angas of bhakti, and you also, along with that, you have Guru Seva, Vaishnava Seva. That is not best. Best is that you think that all the angas of bhakti that you're doing, you're chanting, you're hearing, you're serving the deity, you're preaching, and everything is your Guru Seva. Serving Guru, and all these are angas. Serving Guru is angi. And all these are just angas of service to Guru. This is best. Vishesh Sevaka, the special servant, has that mood. And conversely, Tamodhanam Yoshita Sangi Sangam, by the inappropriate, illicit connection between the sexes, or even worse than that, associating with the same gender, but that person is lusty. That is even worse. Terrible. Then this opens the door to Narak, to go down to the darkest regions. Mahanta te samachita prasanta. So one should seek out the association of pure devotees. They are samachitta, undisturbed in any situation. They are samachitta means that they see everyone equally. Sama means same and chitta means heart, the consciousness. So samachitta means they remain the same in equilibrium, in happiness and distress, loss and gain, profit, victory and defeat, honor and dishonor. And samachitta means they see everyone equally. They don't have a prejudice against anyone. Samachitta. And samachitta means, samachitta, they feel that their chitta is like your chitta. Meaning that when they see the suffering of others, they feel that suffering. And when they see the happiness of others, they feel that happiness. Not material happiness and distress, but when someone is suffering because they're not making spiritual progress, they feel pain. And when they see someone is happy because they're making spiritual progress, they feel joy. So the Guru is filled with joy when he sees the students are slowly, step by step, walking on the path of pure bhakti. Mahansa te samachita prashanta. They are peaceful. Here, peaceful means that their senses are not agitated. They are not disturbed by worldly desires. Vimanyava, they are free from pride, very humble. Surida, they are friendly to everyone. They are friendly. Even to those who want to kill them, they are friendly. This is what it means to be pure-hearted. Sadhava, their behavior is always exemplary. And they're honest and truthful. So Shabdev Maharaj is giving this nice teaching to his sons. He said, no one should become a guru. No one should become even a father or a mother if you don't take responsibility to deliver your dependents. So in this world, there are some gurus, not so many, but there are so many mothers and fathers and husbands. Also, don't become husband also. So everyone has these roles. What does it mean? It means it's the responsibility of each and every one of us to make our lives perfect and help others. It's not only for a few. This is our responsibility. And if you don't do this, then you're not a guru, you're not a mother, you're not a husband, you're not a father. Only in name, only for show. So, Shabdev Maharaj spoke these beautiful teachings and then he went to the forest. So you can imagine what kind of samskar impression is there in the heart of the young Bharat Maharaj. Because when we have sadhu sangha, that sadhu sangha imparts to us vishesh sanskar. Already we have so many samskars. Or we can say some scars. In our consciousness we have some scars. Some marks have been left there by so many lifetimes of worldly activities. So, some of our sanskars, impressions are sattvic. Some of them are rajasic. Some of them are tamasic. And all of our behavior and our choices, our independent choices, are actually being dictated by those past sanskars. So they are not free. very firmly bound by the ropes of karma due to these samskars. So sama sattvic, sama rajasic, sama tamasic. But when we associate with a sadhu, then only seeing them, hearing from them, serving them, then by their grace we get nirgun sanskar. Impressions that are transcendental to this world. Vishesh sanskar, intense, aprakrita, supernatural sanskars. And our life now becomes under the control, informed, and we conform to those samskars which are put in the heart by association. So those who have associated with the pure Vaishnavas, their life is changed forever. They cannot be like others anymore. And others cannot be like them also. There's a difference between a person who has received some mercy of a Vaishnava and an ordinary person. That person cannot be like the ordinary person, and the ordinary person also cannot be like them. So, Bharat Maharaj, he became king after his father. And he performed all the karmic activities that a king has to do. They have to perform the yagyas, or rather, become the sponsor of the yagyas performed by the priests. And for the benefit of society, for the worldly benefit of society. So in those sacrifices, there are so many oblations to Indra, to Surya and different demigods. So then the question may come, if Bharat Maharaj is on the path of pure bhakti, then how can he be engaged in all this Devata puja? Because just like one drop of alcohol, if it will fall in pure milk, then the milk becomes contaminated, useless, you have to throw it away. So similarly, you may do so much Krishna bhakti. You may do so much service for Krishna, hearing and chanting and remembering for Krishna. But if on your altar, just tucked away somewhere, you have a little Ganesh and a Durga, Mahadev, like that, then you're doing some Deva puja on the side, that's like a drop of alcohol in the milk, it's all ruined. All ruined. Why? Because your bhakti is not ananya. Ananya means one-pointed. You may be fallen, you may be a rascal, but you only worship Krishna, no one else. Then it's called ananya. Krishna said, Apichat sudaracharo bhajate mam ananyabha. Sadhu reva samantavya samyak vyavahito isaha. Even if a person does a most terrible and abominable activity, but they don't worship any devas and devis, then I consider that person a sadhu. They will become perfect very soon. But other person, his behavior may be very good, wonderful, sattvic, respectable, all honor, but he's doing some Devi puja on the side, then Krishna never accepts that person as a sadhu. He's not ananya. Krishna doesn't accept. So how is it that Bharat Maharaj, being a pure devotee, he's going to all these yagyas and sponsoring, and he's the yajaman, it's being done on his behalf? Because he sees that all the devas, they're all parts of the universal form of the Lord. So when the Brahmins are saying Indraya Swaha and making oblations to Indra, he's thinking, oh, we are worshipping the arms of the Lord, because Indra is in charge of the sense of grasping in the whole universe. Everyone's arms, all controlled by Indra. See? Even if you have a fight, you're punching each other, Indra's actually fighting both sides. So when they're doing Indraya Swaha, then he's thinking, oh, I am worshipping the arms of the universal form of the Lord. Suryaya Swaha, worshipping the eyes of the Lord. Like this. So in this way, the ananyata, the one-pointedness of his bhakti was never compromised. So learn it very carefully. Don't compromise. Once one devotee, he said, he became sick, he went to one Ayurvedic doctor. Doctor said, every day you'll have to offer 3 coconuts to Hanuman. And this and that, do so many things. He asked me, is it okay? Ananya. We can worship Hanuman, we can worship Shiva as devotees. But to actually worship them independently to get any benediction, no. Because in bhakti we never ask for any benediction. Bhakti is ahoituki, causeless. Only for Krishna's happiness. Nothing for us. What is coming for us? Why we want to pray to God to take it away? God gave it to us. Right? You have some problem in your life. Where did it come from? Kunti Devi never prayed to Krishna, please take away all my problems. She prayed to Krishna, please send some more problems. Because at that time I remember you most intensely. And by remembering you, I will never see this chain of birth and death. When the soldiers came to capture Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, that time his disciple Peter went to draw his sword and fight with them. Jesus stopped him. He said, why should I not drink from the cup that my Father has prepared for me? So what is coming? The devotee is saying, Tattenu kampam su samikshamano bunjana eva prakritam vipakam. It is, I have done some deeds in my previous life and the reaction is coming, it's my own fault. But at the same time, it is Krishna's mercy. Krishna is giving me some token of my karma, therapeutically, to cure me of my pride and ignorance. So, Bharat Maharaj, though he looked like a worldly person, a king involved in opulence and worshipping devatas, actually his heart was pure. Not sattvic, shuddha sattva. Pure existence. So after ruling the kingdom for only 100 million years, he decided to renounce everything, to follow in the footsteps of his father and go to the forest. So Bharat Maharaj, he left behind the kingdom and went to the forest with nothing. And he traveled and he came to the bank of the Gandaki river. That's the place where the Shalagram Shilas meet with their beloved devotees. And there in the forest, in a place called Bulara Ashram, he stayed alone, and daily he was collecting fruits and roots and flowers, and he was doing puja with a mantra to worship the Lord in the sun. Vasudev, he's the presence of Vasudev in the sun. And he was remembering his mantra, Krishna mantra, for many hours every day. So as he was absorbed in this puja and remembering his mantra, his heart was melting. And he was having darshan of the beautiful, soft, reddish lotus feet of Lord Vasudev. His hairs were standing on end. Tears were streaming from his eyes. So, Sri Krishna, he has agreed to give his darshan to that person who, worshipping him with 16 articles, Sodasha Upachar, then remembers their mantra. Krishna has agreed to reveal himself to that person. Narad has explained this in the Narad Pancharatra. So our Diksha mantras, they are Pancharatric mantras. And daily the devotees are serving their deities, Vesha, Pushpanjali, offering flowers, giving a seat, calling the deity, washing their feet, giving oil massage, bathing, decorating, giving garland, offering naivedya, offering bhoga, like this. So in this way, and then offering arti, and remembering their mantra. So by practicing this every day, what will happen? you will have darshan of your Ishtadev. Don't have any doubt about it. Narad said to Vyasadeva, Iti mantra vidhanena mantra murtim amurtikam yajate yagyapurusham sa samyak yag darshana puman. It means that when Guru gives you your Diksha mantra, he's giving you Krishna himself in the form of this mantra. Mantra, so he is called mantra murti. One type of murti is in the temple room. And when Guru gives you Gopal mantra, he is giving you Gopal mantra murti. It's also murti, but in the form of sound. So mantra murtim amurtikam. Amurtikam means without a form, means that without a material form. Gurudev is giving you the spiritual form of Krishna. In the Amarkosh Sanskrit dictionary, they already said, Murtihi katinya kayayohu. The word murti also means hard, hardness. So, mantra murtim amurtikam means that this deity that Guru gives you in the form of sound is amurtikam, not hard, very soft. You know, if a leaf falls from a tree and lands on Krishna, if you remove the leaf, you'll see the shape on his skin. So this murti that Gurudev is giving in the form of mantra is very soft Krishna. So yajate purusham yagya purusham sa samyak darshana puman. And by serving in this way, offering the articles and then remembering your mantra, then you have samyak darshana, a complete darshan. That means one has a very complete and beautiful vision of Krishna's form. Or darshan means philosophy. That this practice is the complete philosophy. Just like Srila Vyasadeva. He compiled Vedanta Sutra, but in the end he was not satisfied. Right? Vyasadeva was not satisfied with Vedanta. Why? Because Vedanta Sutra takes you through all the philosophical steps of Tattva Gyan to prove that the goal of life is bhakti, service of the Lord. But it does not tell you how to do that service. Right? So the Pancharatra of Narad and also Srimad Bhagavatam explain how to do that service. And therefore, this darshan, Bhagavad darshan, is superior to Vedanta darshan. It's complete. And samyak darshana, sa samyak darshana, also means that that person who follows this path of worshipping the Supreme Lord and using the mantra, Diksha mantra given by Guru, that the darshan of that person makes you complete. In other words, if there's a devotee and they're serving every day, and when they remember mantra, they see the lotus feet of the Ishtadev smiling there. When they chant the holy name, they hear the sound of Narad's Veena. Amiyadara Varishagana. They hear the sound of Narad's Veena and they feel as if it's raining ananda, raining nectar from the sky. Narad Muni Bajai Veena Radhika Ramana Name Namayamani Udita Hoy Bhakata Gita Sane. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining in this song. Actually, this song is an explanation of Rupa Goswami's Shri Krishna Namastakam, last verse. Narad Vinod Jivana Sudurmi Niryas Maduripura Tam Krishna Nama Kamas Purame Rasane Rasaina Sada. Rupa Goswami said, O Nam Prabhu, O life of the Veena of Narad. Actually, Narad doesn't really play the Veena. He just starts to sing and the Veena just plays by itself in ecstasy. So, O Harinam that gives life to the Veena of Narad, Oh, you who are the crest of a wave in the ocean of sweetness, kindly appear on my tongue along with rasa. So that verse, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is made into a song, describing the experience of the devotee when they chant the pure name and they hear the sound of Narad's Veena and Radha Raman appear before them, and the devotee feels like it's raining nectar from the sky. This is the meaning of japa. If you're not experiencing this every day when you chant japa, then you have to think there's something wrong. Something is amiss. Then I need to have some help from a Vaishnava, how to experience this. So, here, sa samyak darshana puman means that if a person is having darshan of Krishna at the time when they are chanting their mantras, then if you see that person, you become complete. Your life becomes perfect, your life becomes successful. Gangara parasohile pastyate pabana darshana pavitra karo etumara gun. Srila Narottam Das Thakur said, if you take bath again and again in the Ganga, then by the mercy of Mother Ganges, you gradually become purified. But if you see a pure Vaishnava at once, one becomes purified. It's like looking at the sun. When you look at the sun, there's nothing in between you and the sun, just pure illumination. So when we see a pure Vaishnava, that time there's nothing, no obstacle between us and Goloka Vrindavan. So we always want to be in sadhu sangha. So Bharat Maharaj, he was very advanced. Rati came, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Rati, Bhav. He was in the stage of Bhav. He was doing his sadhana very strictly every day. But once his heart melted with Bhav, then he didn't do everything so strictly. It's not a fault. In the stage of Bhav, it's not a fault. Because his heart was melting with love. And so however the devotee is chanting and remembering, Krishna is satisfied with that. Krishna is not counting your circles. How many times around the body? 7 times, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you. Oh, wait, one more. This is all vidhi, rules and regulations. Krishna is not counting your circles. So when the devotee comes into that stage, he can be a little bit lax in all those rules. But one day he rose early in the morning, took bath in the river, sat there, his matted locks were still damp. He was shining and remembering his mantra for 3 muhurtas, 144 minutes. And just then, one female deer came to the bank of the river to drink water, and in the forest a lion roared loudly, and the deer became frightened, beautiful eyes looking here and there, and to escape she tried to jump across the water. But as from the effort, she was pregnant, and the baby deer in her womb came out and fell into the waves, and she struggled to cross, and she came out of the water on the other side, and she went into a cave, and from the trauma of hearing the lion and losing the child and jumping over the river, and from exhaustion, that deer died. But before she died, she glanced towards Bharat Maharaj. By her eyes said, "Oh, my baby, save my baby." Bharat Maharaj got up and jumped into the river and took the baby deer from the river. And now he began to take care of that deer. He was thinking, this deer has no one in this world. I am his mother, father, brother, sister, everything. How can he survive? Where will he get food from? He'll easily become prey to wild dogs and jackals and wild boar in the forest. He was thinking, high-class persons, they're always concerned about the suffering of others. They feel the suffering of others. And they try to help them. So he began to think in his mind that actually taking care of this deer will be good for me. If I neglected it, it would be a fault. But taking care of this deer, it won't be a distraction, it will actually be good for me. Just like Lord Shiva, when he drank the poison that came out from the ocean of milk, he saw that all the demons and demigods were suffering. And so he took the poison and he said, the Supreme Lord is very happy when one accepts suffering upon himself for the sake of others. And Maharaja. So remembering these things, Bharat Maharaj thought, this will be good for me. And he adopted that baby deer. So he would go into the forest and he would pick the fruits and berries and roots and feed the deer. He had to go here and there to collect different ingredients for his puja also. So he used to put the baby deer on his shoulders and wander here and there. And then he would come back to his ashram and do puja. He would do yagyas also. But this deer grew up and became very attached to him and was very playful. And he was thinking again and again, always remembering his deer, like a son. Very strange. He had so many sons, but he left them all. And now he has a son. He was thinking of him like his own child. One day, the deer wandered away, and he was thinking, where's my deer? And he was in great anxiety. He was sitting in the ashram. What will happen? Some ferocious animal may attack him. And then my life will be empty. Because it was so nice. Caressing my deer. My deer was so sweet. Sometimes when I prepared the articles for a yagya, then he would come and contaminate them, and I would say, hey, don't do that. Keep away. And then he would sit down, just like the son of a Brahmin who was naughty and did something wrong in the puja. And then he would sit down very obediently. Or sometimes I would be pretending to be in samadhi. And now before he was actually in samadhi, but now he was pretending. I would be pretending to be in samadhi, and this little soft deer, he would come up to me and I would say, look, I'm meditating now, go away. I don't want to deal with you now. And I would pretend to be like in man with him. Oh, just go away. I don't want to speak to you. And then the deer would come up and in loving anger poke me with his horns. And I would feel the cool tips of his horns like drops of water. And then, all right, and then I'll take him in my lap. I miss my deer. And then he got up and came out of his little hut and looked outside, and he saw on the ground the footprints of his deer. He said, "Oh Mother Earth, what austerities have you performed? I've done some austerities, but my austerities were useless. But what austerities have you done to be touched by the lotus feet of my deer?" Because the Smriti Shastras, they say that place which is decorated with the hoof prints of a black deer is suitable for the performance of sacrifices. It's a pure place. She said, "Mother Earth, you must have done austerities to get the touch of the feet of my deer, and which makes you a place suitable for sacrifice." What kind of attachment is this? Like gopis, they say also. Vrindavanam Saki Bhavo Bitanoti Kirtin Yadevaki Sutapadambuja Labda Lakshmi Govinda Vena Manamatta Mayora Nityam Prakshadrisan Bhavaratanya Samasta Sattvan. Oh, this Vrindavan is spreading the glories of this earth planet. Why? Because Vrindavan is decorated with the beautiful footprints of Krishna. Because when Krishna plays his flute, then the stones at Govardhan melt and his feet sink into them. Then when he stops playing, they become hard again, so it leaves. The beautiful footprints of Krishna with all the 19 auspicious signs. So how attached they are. Gopis are attached to Krishna. Now Bharat Maharaj has become mad in attachment. Gopis' attachment is transcendental. But Bharat Maharaj is a madness of worldly attachment. He saw the moon shining. He said, "Oh moon, though your rays are cool, but they are burning me in separation from my dear." See, in Gita Govinda, Radharani tells the same thing. The rays of the moon are burning me. So just as a person with a fever, if a person has a fever, someone who's expert in mantras can take water from their mouth and sprinkle on them, and their fever will go down. So Bharat Maharaj said, "My fever of separation, you should shower some nectar on me, that my fever of separation will go down, by illuminating the path where I can find my dear." How attached he had become. So he found his dear. But from day to day, his mind was always absorbed with affection for that dear, and he didn't think that time was passing. And what happens? When Dharmaraj came in the disguise of a crane and asked Yudhishthira Maharaj, "Tell me, what is the most amazing thing?" Yudhishthira Maharaj said, "The most amazing thing is that everyone sees, my grandfather has died, my grandfather has died, my father has died, but I will not die." So when we become attached to things in this world, we forget. Every day is precious. It is irreplaceable. Kelo ye divasa na asi beara ebe Krishna kihu paya. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was weeping. "Oh Radhika, oh Krishna, I am flowing in the river of time to the ocean of death." Very quickly moving. We're quickly moving in this river of time to the ocean of death. "Oh Radhika, oh Krishna Chandra, those days which have gone will never come back. My Lord, what will I do now? What's the solution? What is the remedy to my pitiful situation?" So he didn't see that time was passing. Are you aware that time is passing? Did you complete your 64 hours today? Oh, next year, well, when I'm 90 years old, then I'll do it. So try. Don't let the days go by. So he became unaware of that, and death came. And at the moment of death, he was fondling his deer. And what happened? He was born as a deer. And then when, in his next life, when he was born as a deer, but because of his great spiritual advancement from before, he could remember that he was the emperor of the world, and now he was a small furry mammal. Right? It's a demotion. Can you imagine how he was lamenting? Yeah. If you have a very high position and then you get a low position, but to go from the emperor of the world, then leave that and be in the stage of bhav and seeing the lotus feet of Krishna daily, and then lose that and now be in the body of a deer. He was crying, "Alas, alas, I had this great opportunity in my life and I was almost there, and now I have lost everything. Complete disaster. I am so foolish. He was lamenting bitterly. This repentance, this lamentation is essential in spiritual life. In the second verse of Shikshastikam, Durdaiva middrishamiha janinanuraga. My Lord, due to my misfortune, due to my offenses, I have no eagerness, I don't feel utkanta, I don't feel attraction to chanting. So Mahaprabhu is lamenting and teaching us, we must repent. You know, sometimes Christians walk around on the street with the sign, repent. Right? So that is to remind us. This is a fact. Sridhar Swami in his Bhagavatam commentary, he says, Kripa nimeto nutapaha. The sign that Krishna's mercy has come to you is that you are repenting and lamenting. If you don't feel that lamentation over the wasted days, then we can say that Krishna's mercy is not coming. Actually, that time when we weep like Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Hari, Hari, Bifale Janama Goinu, Manusya Janama Paya, Radha Krishna Nabajia, Janiya Shuniya Bisha Kohinu, Hari, Hari, Bifale Janama Goinu. My Gurudev loved this song so much. And this melody also. When someone would sing, if they sang another melody, he would say, stop. Sing this. Would go like this, lambaswar, long notes. Lambaswar, long notes. Why? Because long notes, Hari, it's like crying. So Narottam Das Thakur is crying, Hari, Hari, oh my Lord, I have wasted my life. I attained this human form of birth and I didn't serve Radha and Krishna. So it is as if I have knowingly drunk poison. Very tragic. So like that, very, very intensely, Bharat Maharaj was lamenting. Everyone bow down to Bharat Maharaj in the form of a deer. And just pray for his mercy, even in that deer form, that some of this lamentation can come to us. It's very helpful in our bhajan. Srimad Bhagavatam is extremely powerful. Can change our life. If we're really hearing and entering into it, we are like in that position. This is Danya Kali, the best Kali Yuga. There are 1,000 Kali Yugas in the day of Brahma. 1,000. 999 of them, not so good. But this one is Danya Kali, where Sri Gaur-Nitai come to this world and they spread their Harinam Sankirtan. Sabalila hoilo para premera vatase gaura premera botase Podiado hilo lochan apanar doshe nija karma doshe. Lochan Das Thakur is saying, the boat is going across the ocean of material existence. What is that boat? Sankirtan movement of Sri Gaur-Nitai. And the oars on this boat, the oars make it go fast. What is that? Everyone's arms like this, upraised arms in Sankirtan. Haribol, Haribol. Huh? These are the oars making the boat go through the water. And the wind of Prem is coming when they chant, and it's taking them across this material ocean. But Rohilo Lochan Apanara Doshe. Lochan Das Thakur said, but I am unfortunate. The boat has left without me. I am here standing on the bank. Why? It's my own fault. I have no one to blame. No one to blame but me. So all our Vaishnavacharyas, in their kirtans, they have expressed this mood. And how intense is this mood now in Bharat Maharaj when he finds himself in the form of a deer? So at once, he left his deer family. He took deer sannyas. He left his deer family and wandering through the forest. He went back to that place, Pulara Ashram, on the bank of the Gandaki river, where the village of Shalagram is there. And he went back there because he wanted to have sadhus. He could hear from the sadhus there. And he was not taking the fresh green leaves from the trees, only the leaves, the dry leaves that fell off. So even in the body of a deer, he was doing whatever austerities he could perform. So then quickly his life in the body of a deer was over, and he took birth in the family of Brahmanas, in the line of Angira Rishi. So actually this pastime is very, very deep. Don't think that Bharat Maharaj fell into Maya. He thinks he fell into Maya. That's his natural state of humility. But we, ourselves, never think like that. Why? Because if you become attached to something in this world, you're wandering here and there, and one day you meet whatever, Mr. Right, Mrs. Right, whatever it is, or something, you become attached. This is your prarabdha karma. There are different types of karma. Aprarabdha karma will come in the future. Kut, the tendency to act with indifference to Krishna, and that will become bij, the seed of a desire, and then it will become what you are experiencing in this life between the moment of your birth and the moment of your death. This is called prarabdha karma. So when we come, in every situation we meet in our life, this is our prarabdha karma. However, in the stage of sadhana, all karma is finished. In the stage of sadhana, what are the two symptoms of sadhana? Sadhana bhakti has two symptoms. Bhava bhakti, it's a creeper growing, and two leaves come in the stage of sadhana, two leaves in the stage of bhavas, and two. Dandavat pranam. Yes, very good. You should give class sometimes. Are you giving class sometimes? No. If he doesn't give class, write to me and tell me.
Put you on the schedule.
Yes. Put him on the schedule. Prepare nicely. So, Kleshagni and Subhadi means auspiciousness. Kleshagni means the destruction of the causes of suffering. What are they? Pap, sinful reactions. And included in that is prarabdha, aparabdha karma. Pap, bij, the seeds of desire, and avidya even. All ignorance is destroyed in the stage of sadhana. So he come in the stage of bhav. So there's no way that his meeting with this deer and becoming attached could be his prarabdha karma. No. No way. So there are two types of prarabdha, shobhanam and ashobhanam. Auspicious, shobhanam, and ashobhanam, inauspicious. So the auspicious prarabdha means that even a devotee sometimes who is jivan mukta, he is in this world but liberated. So Krishna may give the abhas of a prarabdha karma, and this is called not prarabdha karma, swarabdha karma. In Bhagavatam 5th canto you can see it says swarabdha. So the general people, they translate this as swa, his own arabdha karma. But no, it's not Swa Arabdha, it's Su Arabdha. Because Su, the U becomes a V when it's followed by a A. So this is Su Arabdha karma. That means beautiful, auspicious semblance, abhas of a reaction, which is given by Krishna according to the Nyay, a logic. Nyay means logic. According to the logic of Tivranjan Nayana Dana Nyay. Tivranjan Nayana Dana Nyay. It means the logic of Dan, giving Tivranjan, a very sharp, stinging ointment to the eye. Let's say you have a problem with your eye, you cannot see clearly. So the Ayurvedic doctor, he gives you one ointment. But this ointment is like, did you ever get tiger balm in your eye? Yeah? You ever done that by accident? You're putting on some tiger balm, then later you go like this. So some anjan, some ointment burns like anything. Tivra anjan. So tivra anjan, nayana means eye, dana nyay. The logic of applying a sharp ointment to the eyes. And then what is the result? After the burning goes away, then you look and your vision is completely clear. So, because Krishna was feeling separation from Bharat Maharaj, and because he wanted to bring him very quickly to his lotus feet, therefore he gave this Swarabdha karma, by which once he gave up the birth in the body of a deer and took birth as a Brahmin in the line of Angira Rishi, his bhakti was so intense that in that birth he didn't even have a material body. It was a spiritual body, like Shukadev Goswami. Now there are 3 levels of Mahabhagavat devotees. First is called Murchita Kasai. They are Mahabhagavat, they have some anartha, but it's asleep, it's in a dormant, it hasn't gone completely yet, but it's not active, it's in a dormant position. That is called Murchita Kasai. The example is Narad Muni in his previous life, when he was a Sudra and son of a maidservant. He was doing strong sadhana, even he saw for a moment, he saw the Supreme Lord, and then he disappeared and he was in separation. That stage is Murchita Kasai. Then the next stage is called Nirdut Kasai. All contamination washed away. The example is Shukadev Goswami. They're completely pure and transcendental. Even their body has become transcendental. Dehindriyasu hinanam Vaikunta Puravasinam. He said in the 3rd canto that the residents of Vaikunta, they don't have pran, they don't have body, they don't have senses. That means they don't have material body, material pran or material senses. Fully spiritual. So, Shukadev Goswami is like that, Bharat Maharaj is like that. They are fully spiritual. But the body that Bharat Maharaj is in, that is not the form in which he will serve in the spiritual world. So the form in which the devotee serves in the spiritual world, when they attain that form, that is called Bhagavat Parshad Deha Prapt, who has attained their form as a Parshad, as an eternal associate. So the example is Narad in the next life when he became Narad Muni. So he's the first example in his previous life and the last example, and Shukadev Goswami is the middle example. So Bharat Maharaj became like Shukadev Goswami in that life. In other words, by the application of this Swarabdha karma, Supreme Lord Krishna intensified his bhakti. His bhakti was intensified 1,000 times. His jnana was intensified 1,000 times. His vairagya was intensified 1,000 times. And so in that life, he became perfect. Completely perfect. So this episode with the deer is not an episode of a devotee going in Maya. It's an episode of Krishna's intense love, his aggressive grace, bringing his devotee very quickly to his lotus feet. Actually. So what love is in this pastime? What love is there? Very beautiful. So a Jivan Mukta, they have no abhiman, no identity related to this world. But they have abhimana bhavepi abhimana basaha. Though they're devoid of any worldly abhiman, but they have abhiman abhas, just a touch. So in the same way, when a devotee comes in the stage of rati or bhav, they have no parabdha bhavepi parabdha basaha. They have no parabdha karma, but they may have prarabdha abhas. So it looks like they're undergoing some suffering or some problem from time to time, but that is the Krishna giving ointment to them to intensify their love and bring them very quickly to perfection. So, can we continue?
Yes. We must continue.
How can you stop?
We'll fall off the cliff.
So, there are so many teachings in this Upakya. When he was a deer, at the last moment of the deer's life, the deer called out very beautiful prayer to the Lord. And died. So the question may come, wait a minute. Deers cannot articulate words. Yeah? Even birds, though they can sing a few notes, but they cannot even say Saregama Padani Sa. They cannot sing all the notes, they cannot speak actual articulate words. Or with the exception of a parrot, they can say a couple of words like this. But a deer does not have a structure of a mouth and tongue to be able to articulate words. So how is it that the deer called out a prayer in the last moment? Why? Because even we have tongues, but even our tongue actually cannot pray. Atashi Krishna Namadi Nabhavad Grayam Indriyai Sevan Mukhi Jiva Do Swayameva Spuraktivdaha. The material tongue cannot touch Krishna's name, form, qualities or pastimes. But when the person is Sevan Mukh, the heart is completely devoid of the slightest indifference to the Lord and absorbed in service to the Lord, then Swayameva Spuraktivdaha. Jivado, beginning from the tongue, Krishna's name, form, qualities and pastimes, they manifest themselves. So if you're chanting and you're thinking, I am chanting, Namaparad. And pure name will never come. Like Rupa Goswami is saying, Rasane Rasena Sada. Oh Nam Prabhu, please, you come and dance on my tongue. If we have the ego that we can chant, then we'll just commit Namaparad. We are not the controllers. Krishna is in control. We are not the controllers that we can make him appear. But if devotees more humble than a blade of grass, honoring everyone and chanting continuously, then Nam Prabhu, first Namabhas, the first rays of the dawn of the sun of the holy name will appear and destroy all ignorance and give a glimpse of the spiritual world. And then the sun of Shuddhanam will rise up. That is Sakshat, direct. Even Namabhas will give you darshan. Shraddha Namabhas. But when the Shuddhanam comes, then it becomes not reflective, not only reflection on the heart, but direct experience of Krishna. So, the pure devotee who is in the stage of rati, he has no parabdha karma, but he has parabdha abhas given by the Lord. So now, Bharat Maharaj, he's born in a Brahmin family. This life I'm not getting attached to anyone. So he acted as if he was deaf and dumb and foolish, completely dull. His father tried to teach him how to perform all Brahminical duties, but he did everything backwards. His father said, first answer the call of nature, then take a bath. He would take a bath and then answer the call of nature. His father tried to teach him the Gayatri mantra. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. He would say, Om Swa Bhu, everything mixed up. Even he couldn't learn even one mantra. His father was very attached to him because fathers are attached to their sons and tried again and again. But even until he passed away, he died and he was a failure. And he had 9 brothers. But his brothers, they were not so much loving like the father. So they just engaged him in tending the fields. He was like a human scarecrow. He had to stay in the fields at night to scare away any wild animals that might come. And they would give him leftover food, not good things. But he would take them just like nectar. And he was internally completely self-satisfied, always remembering the lotus feet of Vasudeva, and whatever was going on outwardly, he was completely satisfied. He was unconcerned about that. So, one day, there was a band of dacoits, and the leader of that band of dacoits, he wanted to have a son. So to have a son, he thought, I should do a yagya, a sacrifice to Bhadrakali. So a good sacrifice would be a human sacrifice. So they captured some person, and they were making their big festival for Bhadrakali. They had a nice altar decorated with flowers, they had drums, but their victim escaped. So the servants of that dacoit leader, they were running through the forest looking here and there trying to find him. But they couldn't find him. And as they were going through the forest and fields, they came across now Bharat is called Jada Bharat. Means dull, like deaf and dumb, foolish person. Jada Bharat. And they found him, they thought, well, he'll do. Let's take him. So very happily they captured him, and they took him with them, and they brought him back to the lair of the dacoits. And he was very big and he was strong like an ox. But he didn't resist, he didn't fight with them. And they brought him back, and they bathed him, decorated him with sandalwood paste and a beautiful garland, and they brought him onto the altar of Bhadrakali. They were all beating drums and singing songs. Jai Ma, Jai Ma. And then the head priest came there with a big sword and told him, give pranams here. It was a chopping block. Give pranams. So, he was not resisting. Why? He has no worldly abhiman. He has no bodily identification. He has no envy or hatred or quarrel with anyone, even the person who is going to kill him. Even. He has friendship with every living being. Understand what it means. It's Shuddha. Completely pure. So, but Kali, not Kali. Kali is the age of Kali. This is Kali, long. So Kali, she couldn't tolerate because she is also a pure devotee. And she thought, oh, a devotee of my Lord, they're about to commit a great crime of violence against this innocent person. She couldn't tolerate it. She exploded from the deity. And she took the sword from that priest and chopped off his head. And so many of her associates came, like dancing wild witches with long hair, naked, jumping around and screaming and cutting off the heads of all the dacoits and playing volleyball with them. Huh? Bharat Maharaj just looked up and saw like what was going on. Ladies' volleyball festival. And the blood was squirting out from the necks and they were drinking it and screaming. Mother Kali came to Jada Bharat and said, you are a great Vaishnava. For the benefit of the world, don't hide yourself. Because no one could recognize him. For the benefit of the world, don't hide yourself any longer. So then Bharat Maharaj, hearing her words, he was considering in his mind that he would not, for his entire life, hide his position, that everyone should think that he's just a crazy person. So then, this pastime also teaches us what happens to those who commit violence against devotees. Very stringent reaction. So, if you commit an offense against general living beings, it's pap, it's sin. But if you commit offense to a devotee, it's not. Sins can be washed away in a second by one holy name. Not even the entire holy name, only a few syllables. Not even Madhusudan, only Madhus. Even you don't finish the name, it will destroy all sins easily. But if you commit offense to a Vaishnava, then this is aparad. it's like Vajralep. In Vedic culture, when they build a stone building, then they join the buildings together with one ointment called Vajralep, and the stones are stuck, even thousands and thousands of years later, like Angkor Wat. You've seen that temple there? Like Jagannath Puri temple. It will be standing for thousands of years. So in the same way, when we make offense to a Vaishnava, it is like Vajralep, thunderbolt cement. And it will stick to you, perhaps for thousands of years. Very, very dangerous. So, always, but by all cost, we should never, ever commit offense to a devotee. Even devotee doesn't take offense, but Krishna will take offense. So then, Bharat Maharaj, he was freed from that situation, and he was wandering in the forest, and he came on the bank of the Ikshumati river, and there was a king named Rahugan. So Rahugan Maharaj, though he was a king, he was very sattvic, and he was very interested in sadhu sangha. So he was being carried by palanquin bearers on his palanquin, and he was actually going to the ashram of the Kapil ashram. He wanted to meet with Kapil Muni and take instructions from him. So he was traveling, and his palanquin bearers, they needed one substitute palanquin bearer. So they just saw Bharat Maharaj and they grabbed him and they made him carry the palanquin. By force they made him, he accepted, and he was carrying the palanquin of the king. So Bharat Maharaj didn't want to commit any violence to any living being. So he was always looking to see that there were no ants on the ground. So to avoid them, he was stepping like this. I don't know if you've seen palanquin bearers. Have you seen? They all march like a centipede. All the legs are going like this, in perfect timing. So, in Chandan Yatra in Jagannath Puri, when the palanquin comes out with Radha Madan Mohan, and the palanquin bearers, they have their chest on the back of the person in front of them, like very close, and they all look in perfect timing. If one of them will lose a step, they may all trip over. So they're very coordinated. So the palanquin bearers, they were carrying and all stepping in exactly the same time, so the king can go smoothly. But because the Jad Bharat was out of step, so the palanquin, the king was going like this. He put his head out from the cloth. Hey, what's going on? Carry me properly, or else. And then again they were moving, and he was rocking again. He said, did you hear what I said? The other palanquin bearer said, Your Majesty, it's not us. It's this new person that we recruited. He's not walking in time. So then, the king, he became somewhat angry. Though he was very sattvic. But because he had to do the job of a king, and it's his job to give orders and control his subjects. So some little rajas came, and he said, he was very sarcastic. He said, you must be so tired because you have been carrying this palanquin for a long, long time. So you must be tired. And maybe it's because you're so old. He was very young and strong like an ox. Maybe it's because you're so old. Or perhaps it's because the other palanquin bearers are not cooperating with you. And was speaking to him very, very sarcastically. He said, now, carry it properly. Otherwise I'll punish you like Yamaraj gives punishment. Don't you know? I am the king and you're my subject. So I'll punish you if you don't behave properly. So then, again they were walking, and again it was shaking. Okay, that's enough. King became very angry and abused him with harsh words. So then Jad Bharat, for the first time in his life, because Kali Mara told, don't hide yourself anymore. He said, you are right. The words that you have said, really, they are not sarcastic. They are actually true. Because I am not tired. if this were my journey, and this were my destination, and this were my work, then I would become tired. But I am Atma. So I am not affected. You are right. I am not old. I am not suffering from the infirmity of old age. Because I am not this body. And as far as you being the king and my being your subject, I think that the relationship of king and subject is only true if it's permanent. Like the relationship between Ishvara and Jiva. He is always the Lord and the Jiva is always his servant. But we have all had so many lives. How many times you were king, or I was the king, or we were servants, we were slaves, we were animals. We've been in all situations. So we cannot really say that there is a relationship that you are king and I am the subject. But if you want to accept that, then you can accept it and you can punish me. So either if I am a liberated person, then what will punishment achieve? And if I am a crazy person, then what will punishment achieve? I am one or the other. So if you give punishment to a crazy person, it doesn't rectify them. There's no benefit at all. It's like trying to grind powder. If you beat powder, it will not turn into a solid object, it will become more fine powder. So in the same way, if you give punishment to a crazy person, they'll just become more crazy. So he said, that's a waste of time. So when the king heard these words, he was astonished. He thought, oh, I made a big mistake. I made a really big mistake. And he fell on the ground, giving Dandavat Pranam. He said, who are you? Are you Kapil Rishi? I was going there to Kapil Rishi. Are you that Kapil Rishi? Or are you Kavi, Havi, Antariksha? Are you one of the Navayogendras? Are you Narayan Rishi? I don't know. But I understand you must be a great personality. I have no fear of the thunderbolt of Indra. I have no fear of the trident of Lord Shiva. I have no fear of any weapon, of any demigod or human being. But I am very afraid of making offense to a great Brahmin like you. Because he was wearing old dirty thread. So, I am very fearful of this. Please forgive me. So then, Jat Bharat, he began to give transcendental instructions and his mercy to the king. Now there's a very deep teaching here. We see that the dacoits were in the mode of ignorance. His brothers with whom he was living before, they were in the mode of passion. And Maharaj Rahugan was by and large in the mode of sattva. So Bharat Maharaj gave mercy actually to all of them. He gave so much mercy to those dacoits. Why? He arranged that in their next life they become liberated. Because first of all, they had his darshan. Right? So the darshan of a pure Vaishnava, it is infallible. And also they had darshan of another pure devotee, Kali. Right? So because they directly had darshan of Kali and of him, then in the next life it will be arranged by the Lord that they'll attain liberation. So that was his mercy to those in the mode of ignorance. Then his brothers were in the mode of passion. He gave mercy to them in the form of his darshan for a very long time, because for years he lived with them. And then he gave his mercy to Maharaj Rahugan. He was in the mode of goodness. But this mercy was different. He gave him instructions in Tattva Gyan. Like a guru, Shiksha Guru, he gave him instructions in spiritual knowledge. So, now he's a liberated soul, he's a Paramahamsa. And Paramahamsas, they don't discriminate between anyone. However, when it comes to the distribution of mercy in this world, then they because the Paramahamsa thinks everyone has Krishna Prem except for me. So there's no one to preach to. So their vision is adjusted to the vision like a Madhyam Bhagavat. Ishware tada dineshu balisetsu dusatsu chaha. Prema maitri kripopeksa ya karoti samadhyamaha. The meaning is that the Madhyam Bhagavat, he has love for the Lord, he has friendship with the devotees, he has compassion for the innocent persons, and out of compassion, those who are envious, he neglects them, so that, because if you will not neglect them, then they'll interact with him and make more offenses. So to save them from that, he neglects them. But it's not that he's against them in any way, or he's not indifferent to them. So, even though he's a Paramahamsa, his vision has come to the level of Madhyam Bhagavat, and the Madhyam Bhagavat discriminates. So he gave a certain type of mercy to those in ignorance and those in passion, and the king who is sattvic and very eager to understand, and who has fallen at his feet and begging for his mercy. So now Rahugan will give very beautiful, beautiful instructions about Jiva Tattva and Paramatma Tattva and Bhagavad Tattva. So I think those instructions we'll hear tomorrow. Yeah? Where is our program tomorrow? At yours? Okay. So please come. Everyone. What time is it?
6:30.
6:30. Yes, please try to come on time for bhajans, so we can sing bhajans before, and we'll continue. Very beautiful, beautiful instructions of Jad Bharat to Rahugan Maharaj. Very powerful tattva gyan, that we can become freed. Hearing this, become freed from the abhiman in this material body and become fully dedicated. Yesham to antakatam papam jananam punyakamanam te dvanva mohaniya mukta bhajanti mam drida brataha. Sri Krishna said, those who have acted piously in this life and in previous lives, and who are free from dvanva, the vision of duality, they do bhajan with firm determination. So by hearing these teachings of Rahugan Maharaj, our eyes will become open and free from duality, and we can engage in Krishna's bhajan with determination. Gaur Premanand.
Sadhu, sadhu.